What's up? My name is David. Today's video is how to sell your used shoes online so you never gotta talk to a sneaker reseller again. I'm making this video because recently people have been declining my offers, and I thought, you know what? I gotta show these people how they can sell their shoes and make more money. I want people to know what the process is of selling a new shoe, and honestly, bro, I just hope they think it's a long, boring process and they decide not to do it. Kicking off, we're gonna focus on eBay today. There's a lot of places you could sell your used shoes online. In my opinion, eBay is the best. You know, the best competitor after eBay, I would say, is GOAT. But here's the thing with GOAT. GOAT is honestly a price game. If your price isn't right, you're cooked. You're not going to sell shit. That's why I lean more towards eBay. Here are the 3 things eBay has going for itself. 1, it has the best fee structure on shoes sold over $150. It is 8%. That is it. You just pay 8% of your sale, you're done. 2, you can speak to your potential customer. On the GOAT, you can't do that. eBay, somebody asks you a question like, hey, can I see a picture of the insole? Just take a picture. Finally, on eBay, you can send offers. If somebody's watching your item, you can send them an offer for 10% off and make that sell quicker. I'll address some of the counterpoints to eBay, right? On other marketplaces like Depop and Grilled, you could message customers and you could send offers, right? This is not exclusive to eBay. The thing where I think eBay still wins is eBay has a bigger customer base. Right? And the thing is, you do pay for it. You know, here's another con of eBay. Like on shoes that cost less than $150, or at least when you sell for less, you're going to pay 13.6% plus 40 cents instead of other marketplaces where it might be slightly less. So yes, you get bigger customer base, but you do pay for it. Slightly though. I still think it's worth it. You just pay for it slightly. Moving on, you have to take these 5 things into account to do this successfully. Cleaning your shoes, pictures, pricing, shipping, and customer service. All right. Cleaning. The bottom line is, the cleaner your shoes look, the more you'll get. Cleaning doesn't have to be tough. You can literally get one of these right here, go to Walmart or go to any big store, grab a multi-fold or multi-rag, or grab a rag, and you kind of just clean the midsole real quick, wherever it has stains, and make it look better. You know, you don't need to do nothing crazy. And then you can take out like all the little rocks on the bottom, and then you'd be good. Final thing with cleaning. Before we move on to pictures, you want to make sure your sneakers look like they're factory laced. And that's because you want to give people the impression like, oh, I just bought a new shoe, or this is how they would see it if they have just bought it, right? So you want to give people that illusion. So make sure you like lace your shoes something like this, where you hide the laces instead of having it like this. Next are the pictures. As you can see from my setup, all I have are my room's light bulbs and a table. That's it. I'm going to show you in real time how to take these pictures with my sister's phone, okay? So first things first, set your phone to square. You want a 1-to-1 ratio. And let's pretend we have the OG box. Okay, guys? So first thing, if you do have the original box, no problem here. Let me set myself up real quick. I do this cool little trick. Flip your phone upside down and boom, get a picture of the size label and your box. After you take a picture of the box, you want to take a picture of your size label. You do this regardless of whether you have the box or not, okay? You want to add this onto your listing. So I'm just fixing the size label here to just be more accurate. Boom, you want it to be clear. As clear as you can, you know, you might have to unlace the shoes, etc. Okay, still going. So, once you got a picture of the box label and the size label, right? Let's pretend you do have the box. If you do have the box, set your shoes up like this. These are the outer sides of the shoe. Flip your phone upside down. It's a cool, neat trick to get closer to your object. Flip the shoe, right? Flip the shoe. And boom, right there. Okay. Let's pretend you don't have the box. If you don't have the box, no worries. You could just lay it flat on the table like this. Try to get them close together, right? Maybe not that close. Like right here, I'm going to enable flash just to get a better angle. Boom. Or better lighting, sorry. Same thing. We're essentially taking a picture of the same thing, except we aren't laying the shoes on the box. We're laying them on a flat surface. All right. Still recording, good. All right, now we gotta take a picture of the upper, and you wanna make sure you're getting as close as you can to the shoes as possible. You don't wanna be like up here, right? You wanna be as close as possible so people can see the shoe. Boom. Wanna take a picture of this back angle. Boom. All right. Now take a picture of the bottoms. Right. Boom. If your shoes have heel drag like this shoe right here, make sure you show it, okay? Boom. Another thing, if the shoes have stars, people care about that. Take a picture of it, you know, because then people are going to ask you for it later. So just take it right now. Do not take it later. Next, you want to take a picture of any flaws your shoes might have. Like this is a serious flaw. that we need to take a picture of, and make sure the flaw is clear. All right, we want people to know where it's at. And then this right here is like a scratch like this. You want to take a picture of. You don't want people to be bamboozled, right? So right now, we essentially took all the pics, right? We took them as if we had the box, as if we didn't have the box, heel drag, stars, you know, all the generic pics, right? So essentially, those are the pics you want to take for your listing. To continue, we are going to talk about pricing. I'd argue this is one of the most important steps in all of this. If the price isn't right, you're not going to get paid, okay? Pricing. I'm going to give you two examples. This right here is a pair of shoes that consistently sells. This right here is a pair of shoes that does not have a consistent sale, meaning, you know, they might sell once every blue moon. So I want to help you out with these two different aspects. Let's find a price for this shoe. Okay, so first thing we do is we open the eBay app. We're going to search for this shoe right here. I already searched it up. Jordan 4 Olive Craft. I already have the filters on, but here's what you're going to do, right? So you search up the shoe, and what you're going to do is you're going to go to your filters, and you're going to look up sizes similar to the one you have. Like, this is a 10.5, right? So I'm going to look up size 10, 10.5, and 11, right? We're going to go back. We're going to scroll down through this filter and look up sold items. Sold and completed. So we're going to see what this shoe has been selling for. So somebody just sold this shoe with a box at 100, same size at 145. Somebody accepted an offer at 100, 140. Oh, let me make sure we put used as well. Right, so if it's used, make sure you put pre-owned so you can like filter that out even more. So 140, 105, 110, 152, 120, 110. Okay, so you see how it starts to vary, right? It starts to vary. So we at least know like about 152 is like this right here is probably like the max, right? You might be able to get a little higher. Minimum we've seen is probably gonna be like this one. It doesn't say how much they sold it for, but less than 100. Right, so now this is where you kind of got to analyze where does mine fall, right? Like this dude sold his for 100, which I think is pretty cheap. I'm wondering if it has any flaws, and I think I just seen the big flaw. Let's see. So I think it's this right here. So if you see scrolling right here, that's the big flaw. So always check, right? Sometimes shoes might be sold for cheap, but it's because there's a reason, and we clearly found the reason, right? So this one, it doesn't have the box, but doesn't have that big ass flaw. So we could price it between maybe like 90 to 150. The question is, where do we want to fall, right? So we already checked sold items, so that's kind of like our guide. So we're between 90 and 150. So let's take off sold. Let's see what's currently available right now. So the first thing you see is this 10.5 pair, which is actually my pair, right? This is the one I'm using for the example. I priced it at 110, right? This is the condition of the shoe. One thing that's very important to know is the quality of your pictures is going to help you sell the shoe. Probably should have noted that earlier, nevertheless. So when I was listing this shoe, which is interesting, this was up for sale at 75. And I was looking at it, I was like, damn, bro, this is pretty cheap. And then I figured out why it was 75, right? You see these scuffs right here? So definitely this shoe, you've seen the pictures, definitely worth more than 75. So you get out of here, you have a size 11 at 100, right? This is straight. This one at 89, this one has this big ass flaw right here. I already seen it. So as you can see, this shoe is pretty cheap, bro. Like, you could get it at 100, 115, give or take. So you want to determine where you want to be. I found it beneficial to be at 110. And I have a set price. I'll talk about pricing it, like best offer or setting a minimum price, whatever. I'll talk about that a little bit later. What I'll say right now is build a realistic range. So right here, I have it at 110. Realistically, I could have done 120 to like 100. I could have had that range, right? After 120, I think it'd be a harder sell because there's a lot of shoes that are at the $100 range with the box, like this one, right? So the more I push it up, the less likely it'll be to sell. And at least 100 because they're not in bad condition. You've seen the picture. So I probably could have priced this at 120 all the way to 100, okay? And that's where the price would probably fall. Now, let's say you're like, dude, what the hell, David? I actually wanted to get 150 for these, bro. Like, I'm not trying to sell this for 120. I have two things for you. One, try doing the process on another app. You know, go on Grailed, go on Depop, Facebook, whatever. Try doing a similar process from this point and before and see if you could get away with that price there, right? Number two, you just take the L and keep pushing. You know, I am fairly confident in saying that a reseller is probably going to pay you less than what you would get on eBay. So you just kind of take that figurative L and keep it pushing. Okay. Now we're going to move on to this shoe. It has less consistent sales. We essentially follow the same process. The only thing is we just have less data. So let's hop straight to eBay and look this shoe up. So this shoe is brand new. I apologize. But same thing applies whether it's new or used. So we're gonna look this shoe up, right? So I have a 9.5Y, right? So we're gonna do the same process, guys. 9, 9.5, 10. So let's see what we have. So this shoe is new. We have one for $329. We have this one at $219, which is this actual pair right here. Another one for $329. And that's about it, right? So there's not much. So sorry, we started with the available. There's not much. Literally, there's just like 3 people. It's me and 2 others. Now let's check sold. None have sold, right? So this is what I'm talking about. There's only 3 available, and only 1 has sold. And clearly, none of us are priced appropriately, or nobody wants it because it hasn't sold. So here's what I suggest. You're going to check the sold. So now you come into the sold. And we're going to see what others have sold, or what similar shoes have sold for. So it's very important that I mark this as new, because this shoe is new, right? So as you can see, one just sold for, some Jordan sold for $238, $200, $270, $239, $175. Yeah, that must be fake. Okay. There's quite a range, right? If you notice, most of them are selling at retail, right? So here is my main suggestion. You want your obscure pair to be selling for as close as possible to the average price of the other pairs that are similar, right? Of course, they're not the same colorway, but they're similar. Like a Jordan 12 is a Jordan 12, right? You want to be as close as possible. Yes, it's a little rare, but you want to be close to this price. Here's what you can do. What you can do is, okay, I know this shoe is pretty rare, and other people are asking $329. Let me price it at $300 and accept offers to $200, right? So you have this $100 range you could play with. That's one thing you could do. However, if you price it like how I said earlier, you have to be vigilant, because a shoe may not sell, and this shoe is a perfect example. So I have my shoe right here at $220. Even though others are, I'm like legit a whole $110 under these other people, I still haven't sold, right? So that means one thing. That means a few things. People don't want it, my price is still too high, or a mix of both, right? So with shoes like this, guys, you have to like check your listing weekly or bi-weekly to see if it has sold. If it hasn't sold, just keep dropping the price, right? So like me, honestly, I should probably drop this to like 200 and see what happens from there. To review, on these obscure pairs, you have more of a range you could price your shoe at, but you have to consistently check to make sure you're not priced too high so your shoes can sell. We are at the final step, which is shipping. I apologize, I didn't mention on how we're going to list the shoes. I am going to show you how to list the shoes just very briefly, right? If you ever have any questions throughout this whole process, you could, of course, drop it down in the comments or look it up. Now we're going to list the item. Here's a quick run through. We're going to look up the shoe like we did to price it, right? We want to look up the size. I already did it here. If the same size is not available, it's okay. You could do another size. You could just edit it. So we're going to do this one. This is this exact pair right here, but I'm going to show you how you would do it. So you kind of scroll down near the bottom, and there's one that says sell one like this, right? So I'm going to run you through the listing summary. So if you see, it kind of already shows you how to order the photos, right? So let's do that. So I have the pictures right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? We show all the angles. We add them to the listing. For the title, my title is already set because I wrote this earlier. As you can see, it's just Jordan, the number, retro, apostrophes, the colorway, and the size. That should be good. That should be good for most shoes. Next is category. Just make sure it's correct, right? Here it says men's shoes, athletic shoes. This falls in that product category. Condition, we need to make sure we mark it off. This is pre-owned. Perfect. All right, now we need the item specifics. This has so many things. You really only need a few things. So you need the required ones, right? You need to make sure you mark the brand as Jordan, the actual size, right? This is a 10.5, so we're good. The color, green, department, men. Now recommended, the only one I really suggest you do is just take off any UK or European size. So if it has anything, just take it off. It doesn't have anything. And you should be good. So top 4, and then the recommended, just take off the sizing, right? Now you need to go to description. Description is very simple. People want to know when to ship, right? So just put next business day shipping. For you, this might vary. Just put whenever you could ship. So what's the condition of the shoes? You know, these, I'll just say solid condition. And final thing people want to know is, do you have the box? So if you don't, just write no original box, right? And then if the shoes have like a major flaw, right? Like let's say this has a really big scratch right here. You want to write it in the description as well. Like big scratch on back of left shoe. If it doesn't have a scratch, you're good, right? Like if this is the shoe, we should be fine with these right here. You could format it however you want it to make it look nicer, but really that's all people care about. Like when can you ship, what's the condition, and does it have the box? That's out the way. So now we need to price it, right? So there's auction, there's buy it now. My suggestion for this video, just do buy it now. So simple enough. Remember our range we said was between 100 and 120. So we're gonna set the price to 119.99. That's damn near 120. I just do this because eBay, people typically do the $9.99 method, right? You could do 120 if you want, no worries. So duration, essentially there's only one option, good till canceled. Offers, let's put yes because we think we could get like between 100 to 120, right? So we're gonna allow offers and we're gonna set a minimum amount to 100, right? So here, people either pay your 120 or they can send you an offer up to $100, right? Like somebody can't send you an offer for 60, it's gonna automatically decline. And this is perfect because, man, people are real annoying. You could post this right now in 3 minutes, you'll get an offer for like $30. So you wanna set that minimum offer amount. So then you're done here. Now is the shipping. So I'm gonna do the shipping as if there's authenticity guarantee and no authenticity guarantee, okay? This one has authenticity guarantee, right? So it doesn't really matter. All shipping policies get overridden by authenticity guarantee. So whatever you choose, it doesn't really matter. But for people that are selling their shoes without authenticity guarantee, which is not optional, it's just a matter of pricing, do this right here. Just look up flat 14. So this USPS priority $14 shipping method is probably the best because it's not too high of a shipping price and it's enough to cover the shipping costs, right? Like a label might cost you anywhere between $7 to $13. So you have plenty of leeway, right? And then you may even have some extra money which could help you buy the box. And then package details, this really only applies to people without authenticity guarantee. No, actually it applies to both of you guys. If you have the box for a shoes and it's a men's size, you're probably gonna look at like 4 pounds. If you don't have the box, you're probably looking at 3. Give or take, guys, you're probably gonna be between 3 and 4. You might be above 4 if it's like a big shoe, like a Yeezy Boo, anything that's very, very heavy, or a big size, like a size 15 with the box. But besides that, you're probably gonna be between the 3 to 4 range. You might be under 3 pounds if you're selling like a kid's shoe, right? Like a size 11C or something. But for the sake of the video, 3 to 4. Package dimensions. With eBay, you could just get away with doing 1, 1, 1. You could do that, right? Just do 1, 1, 1. You'll be good. And that's how you set your shipping, right? So now this is as far as I'm gonna go because now we're essentially ready to list. I could just put, oh, there's some preferences here. So you probably want to set these preferences like this right here. Return policy, no returns, your item, location, immediate payment, boom. Yeah, this is ready to go. So if you do have like specific questions like on how to ship, what type of boxes to get, you know, very specific questions, just drop them in the comments. I'll help you out. It's just I don't want to make a super long video. I just want to be kind of basic, right? So if you have any questions, drop in the comments, or if I don't get to you, just look it up, okay? And this is ready to go. I could put list your item. I'm not going to because it's already up for sale. So I'm gonna just put save for later. And your item is listed, and honestly, we went through the whole process. Thanks so much for watching this video. After watching this video, you should be able to never talk to me again. You could sell all your shoes online and never speak to me or another reseller. If you do have any specific questions, please drop them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. Feel free to even look up your question, right? I'm pretty sure it's been answered online. I'll still try. Nevertheless, I hope this helps. And for all my customers who I send this video link, this is the process, you know? This is how you get the extra money. If it's worth it, here you go.